Hi, it's me Tina Amir and welcome to my channel. So for today our lesson is about Ramadan. But before I begin for this video, I'm just going to use informal pronunciation. For those of you still not clear yet what is informal pronunciation, please watch my number 53 video which is about confusing pronunciation. So Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic lunar calendar. Ramadan actually generate from the word dry because of too much heatness. So in Malay we call it panas terik. Panas terik. So panas is hot. Like panas terik is extremely hot. Okay, that's basically describe the weather. So for those of you who knows that Muslim fasting in this month but don't know much about it, so now for today's lesson we're gonna explore about it. Okay, fasting is berpuasa. But this is for Malay word. So normally when people greets you for fasting the next day, then they will say selamat berpuasa. So selamat is safe or it's just a way of our greeting. So selamat berpuasa. But if you say to someone, saya berpuasa, that is for Malay. So for regular speaking, then you just say saya puasa, I'm fasting. Even though puasa is actually the noun and the berpuasa is verb, but it's understandable for speaking. We always try to shorten it. And fasting is not only on Ramadan, just fasting during the Ramadan is compulsory, or the term is wajib. Wajib. It means if you leave it, then you get the sin. Sin in Malay is dosa, dapat dosa. And then if you do it, then you get the merit. Merit is pahala, dapat pahala. So that's basically fasting in Ramadan. And you can also fast in other days of the month, but that is considered puasa sunat. So what is sunat? Sunat is when you do, then you get the merit for it, dapat pahala. If you don't do it, jika tak buat, kalau tak buat, you don't get sin because of it. So tak dapat dosa. But some people really like to fast doing the sunat fasting. But anyway, for Ramadan it's really like no choice because it's one of the 5 pillars in Islam. And about fasting, you actually have to refrain yourself from eating, drinking, and also they will talk less. When you say you're fasting during this month, it's not only refrain from eat and drink, but actually you have to behave better. Then to behave better, you have to talk good and do good to others. So basically we fast from the sunrise. We call this as terbit fajar until hingga sunset, terbenam matahari. I like to add up why it's considered compulsory. Here's I share with you the verse from the Quran that is really an order from Allah. So basically Ramadan, you're not only looking at the physical side, but you also looking at the spiritual side. So before you start the fasting, normally you will sahur. So sahur is the term for it. So you wake up to eat something and then only you start fasting. So sahur is, if you look at the physical side, is actually to make you full so you can fast properly. But looking at the spiritual side is actually obeying the God's order. But even if you don't do, it's not a sin. Just if you do, it's so much blessing that the best sahur time is really when it's really close before the azan for subuh prayer. And then the best for you to break the fast. Break the fast we call as buka puasa. But for formal Malay, berbuka puasa. So you will often see here around majlis berbuka puasa. So there's like event where you can gather and break the fast together. But for speaking, normally you will say this word buka puasa. You add K at the back of the buka. So you say buka puasa. And here, the culture here, either you can go, there's many restaurants or hotels offered for buffet to break the fast. But you can also, if you wanted to save money or you like to gather in the mosque, then some mosques have allocations from the government where you can break the fast, where you can get free food there. Just break the fast and then just pray Maghrib in the mosque and then continue with the Tarawih. which is the solat sunat during the Ramadan time. Even though some mosques don't have a location from the government, like small mosques, or we call it surau, masjid surau, but some people also, they like to donate the food for these places so that other people can enjoy the food to break the fast. So if you see here, the physical side of the fasting is for you to understand people who has less than you, but that is the physical side of it. The spiritual side of it is actually about obeying the God's order. And about breaking the fast, the sunat is actually break with eating dates. Dates we call kurma. That is sunnah actually. And so normally culture here during Ramadan, so many foods sell in the bazaar. So if you're interested, you can go check out the places. And normally our people, they tend to buy lots of food and end up when you actually fasting, your tummy becomes smaller and you don't really eat that much. Like when you eat on usual days. What happens is you just throw the food, and that is the bad side of it. But that's all depends on individual. So if they concerned about it, then they won't throw the food. They just buy what is necessary and give to some people. It's common also if your friends or neighbor actually to invite you to break the fast together. Doesn't matter in the house or in the restaurants or at the mosque. And normally for people here who invite family to come and to break the fast together, and normally we have so big families and people with so big families but they don't have big table, then we normally just sit on the floor and eat together. You must be wondering why Ramadan, why is it so special month? Actually, it's considered like holy month because of the Quran revelation started on Ramadan, the first time to the Prophet Muhammad. Some of non-Muslim also wondering, are we hungry during that day? Is it okay for us to fast for really long time of the days? And the answer is basically yes. For your information, in Islam, once the boy or the girl hit the puberty, actually that's the time when we are compulsory to do the obligation. But somehow for fasting, many of us start very early. So we sometimes start when we are 7 or 8 or even younger than that. It all depends on the family. But of course, when you were young, it's kind of like cheating a bit because sometimes you consider yourself as fasting, but actually you were drinking water without feeling guilty. But that because when you were young. So parents also encourage the kids to fast and they will reward it like giving 1 ringgit for 1 day, something like that. It all depends on the family. But normally, everyone here will start very early. Then by that time when they hit the puberty, then it's considered like okay for them. At first, of course, it was difficult like to get used to it. And then after a few days, then it becomes something like normal to us. In fact, some of us don't really feel hungry. And because here have many races, we live together for many, many years. So it's common for interracial marriage also. So in case of the interracial marriage, like some of the families Muslim and some not, but if they have good relationship, then they will break the fast together. And sometimes the family member also, the non-Muslim will fast together with the Muslim family. And even if they not fast, sometimes they will also hide. Even you don't ask them to hide when they're eating in front of you, but they feel like they have respect towards you when they hide during the Ramadan. And same goes if it's like friends, like good friends, Muslim and non-Muslims. Sometimes the non-Muslim friends also will join the non-Muslim friends to break the fast. And that is nothing offensive. Many non-Muslims also curious what are the things that can break the Muslim fasting before the time. Then it is like makan, eat, minum, drink dengan sengaja, intentionally, okay? And then you cannot put something inside the rongga badan, intentionally. And then of course, no sexual intercourse also between husband and wife during the day. Another thing also, people concerned about what if that someone very sick and cannot fast. Okay, there are conditions where these people don't have to fast. For example, people with health conditions Like if they fast, then maybe it will worsen their condition, like chronic diabetes mellitus or also diabetes mellitus type 1. So these people are in danger, or maybe people who having the internal bleeding, gastrointestinal bleeding, like in the case of the peptic ulcer or the GERD. So these people anyway have to eat. If it's like worsen, then possible for them to bleed. So you know the best of your health condition, can you stand it or not? And then people who has period, women on menses, we call it datang haid. But some people don't like this word, so people will say period, or to be polite, then you can say datang bulan. So people who datang bulan are also not allowed to fast. And then postpartum mother who just give birth also not allowed to fast. And the pregnant woman also, if they're not able, if it could danger the baby and themselves, then they also not allowed to fast. People who breastfeed the babies, if they're not able, then they're also not allowed to fast. People who doing very hard jobs, maybe on the sun, maybe very, very hard work. And then all the people who really no energy, who is not able to fast, then they are allowed not to fast. For example, if people who postpartum mother or breastfeeding, people who had menses, after Ramadan finish, then they can replace the fasting any time of the year. But in case if these people like forgot or something, then they have to pay fidyah. Fidyah is like a punishment because you don't fast on that day. So people who are not able, they can pay fidyah. And the calculation of fidyah is like this. And it's different from countries. And you have to calculate fidyah based on your country you are in now, not your origin or something like that. In case you want to transport back your money, maybe you are from other country which has less currency, but you have to pay based on the rate where you live now, not the rate of people from your country. So that's about fidyah. And during this time also, this Ramadan, Muslim must pray the zakat fitrah. So zakat fitrah is, if it's in Malaysia, normally around 7 to 8 ringgit per person. So this is the money which is actually for charity. Well, I guess that's all about Ramadan. Then after Ramadan finish, then we have our Shawwal, and then that's when we celebrate our Hari Raya Aidilfitri or Bayram or Eid Mubarak, however you call it. Well, I guess that's all lesson for now. Thank you very much for watching me, and if you like my video, please check out my Patreon page so that I can have more time to make more videos. For those of you who support me through this medium, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And for those of you who's watching me right now, thank you very much. Until we meet again then. Bye.